Hello and welcome to our video on understanding marketing, the purpose of marketing, and some effective ways that you can market your property all by yourself. What we want to explain here is effective tools in order to market your property, how to market to the 3 different types of buying public, and hopefully make sure that your property has the most amount of exposure so that you get the fastest sale and the highest price. Obviously, the purpose of marketing is to make sure that we expose your property to as many potential buyers as possible. Whether they're local buyers, out-of-town buyers, or buyers working with the real estate public, we want to make sure that they know about your property so that if it meets their criteria, they consider it for purchase. Obviously, the more buyers you expose your property to, the better chance you have for a faster sale, and the more buyers you expose your property to, the better chance you have for the highest price the market's willing to pay. The first thing to do when considering where to market your property is to set a budget. How much money are you willing to dedicate to marketing your property? Obviously, the more money you spend, the better chance you have for a larger return in the end in a sale. But what you're going to want to do is look at your finances, figure out how much money or what percentage of your home price you're willing to dedicate towards marketing, divide that by the amount of time that you're probably going to be on the market, and that's going to set your monthly marketing budget for you. The first buyers that you're going to want to attract are the local buyers. These are people who are looking to move within your area, and there's a number of simple ways in order to do that. The most obvious of which is to place a yard sign and some brochures out in front. However, you're probably going to want to put some directionals down the street and at the corner of streets in order to tell those people there's a house for sale down the way. You're also going to want to do some print advertising in the local paper or local magazines in order to attract those individuals as well. You're going to want to advertise every single day, Monday through Friday, just in case somebody's out there looking for property on Tuesday and Thursday. You might consider a free website such as Craigslist and update that website once every week or every other week to make sure that it stays up at the top of the list. And last but not least, do advertised open houses. Have an open house, advertise it in your local paper, and do those on Saturday or Sunday. When other people are driving around looking at open houses, they may stop by yours as well. The other type of buyer that you're going to want to attract is the out-of-town buyer. This is a much larger percentage of buyers in almost every area. You're going to want to make sure that you get information about your property out to these buyers in a manner in which they can easily access it. Usually this means paying for web exposure on different internet sites. There's internet sites such as www.fsbo or www.forsalebuyowner.com where you can advertise your property. Be sure to put a decent description about your property out there, not just 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, but tell the story of your property and how great it is in order to live there so that you can attract a buyer when they come into town to put it in the lineup of property that they would like to see. The third buying public you're going to want to consider is the real estate buying public. Generally, realtors account for the majority of sales and the majority of buyers representing buyers in any one area. So you're going to want to get to these realtor brokers and make sure they understand that your property's on the market, what your property entails, and what you're offering that realtor broker as far as compensation for bringing a buyer. You can do this by driving around your area, finding out who's got property listed in your area. What are the largest firms in your area? If those firms have specific offices, target those specific offices. Or if there's an agent in your area who tends to sell a lot of property, target that specific agent. You can fax them flyers every week or every other week. You can get their emails, generally from websites, and send them email flyers about your property and what you're offering as far as compensation is concerned. Perhaps have a broker open house. Call all the brokers in your area or send them a faxed invitation to come to an open house and tell them what you're offering for them to bring a buyer to your property. Utilize that real estate buying public so that you can get the fastest sale and the highest price. The last component to successful marketing is using your own personal network. If you have a number of different emails, send everybody an email flyer telling them about your house and how much you're asking for sale. You could put flyers up around your neighborhood to your immediate neighbors so that maybe they can pick their neighbor, your work, your church, or other civic organizations. Don't be afraid to advertise in all of those areas in order to utilize your own personal network to expose your property to as many potential buyers as possible. Something a lot of people are doing nowadays is getting their property out on Facebook or LinkedIn or MySpace or other free networking sites, letting them know your property is for sale, how much you're asking for it, and how them buying your property could be a good deal. One of the last and most important steps in marketing is making sure that you have a plan for how to deal with leads when they come in, and then also how to track results in order to find out what marketing is working best for you. Here are some tips that you can utilize in order to build a game plan around handling leads and tracking results. Follow these simple steps. Step number 1, what are you going to implement? Pick the strategies that fit your budget for marketing your property. Step number 2, what are the steps you need to take in order to implement each one of those strategies? Do you need to gather information? Do you need to sign up for a website? Do you need to take some pictures of your property and upload them? Map out those steps. And number 3, when are you going to implement each one of these strategies? Are you going to implement them all at once so that you hit the market hard with a lot of different marketing and get increased exposure? Or are you going to leak them out to the market so that you can get a constant refresh in different marketing areas? Step number 4, when a call comes in, where did it come from? What marketing plans are working? Where are you generating the most leads? Step number 5, you need to understand how you're going to qualify each one of those leads. When a buyer calls or emails you or requests further information or is showing on the property, what questions are you going to ask them? Some recommendations are, have you been pre-approved by a mortgage lender? Are you currently working with a real estate agent? And last but not least, ideally, when are you looking to buy and close on a property? Step number 6, how are you going to track these leads? You need to have some sort of method to track where the leads are coming from so that you can understand what marketing is working. Step number 7, how are you going to maintain your marketing plan in order to keep the interest high? Remember that the first 8 to 12 weeks of marketing generate the most amount of interest. After that, interest starts to slough off a little bit. You need to make sure that you have a plan in order to change your marketing to keep that interest fresh and high. Step number 8 is, what changes will you make if a marketing technique is not working, and how long are you going to give each technique? In marketing, the general rule of thumb is 3 months. However, when you're marketing your own property, you may want to make changes quicker in order to best utilize the marketing dollars that you have in your budget. We hope we've introduced you to a few different ideas that you can utilize while marketing your property. Remember, there's 3 different publics out there you need to market to: the local public, the out-of-town public, and the real estate public. Make sure that you expose your property aggressively to each one of these buying publics so that you can generate the fastest sale and the highest price this market is willing to pay. Again, thanks for downloading this video on marketing, and we wish you the best of luck selling.